Hello, this is wmpyr. Today I have a treat for you guys. We're going to be working with the Tomahawk, okay? So first off, this should be your main weapon. This is what we spend the most time practicing with, and we develop our skills with this, the Eskrima stick, the generic weapon. Not too long, not too short, not too heavy, not too light, right? So you start with the Eskrima stick, and when we go to something like the Tomahawk or a heavier weapon, one of the first things you're going to see that you have to do is you got to lock your wrist, okay? With this Tomahawk, it's not too bad, so I can incorporate the wrist as you're seeing right now. But with a heavier weapon, for sure, you won't be able to do that. Or if you did, it's not going to help you. It can actually endanger you. So in that case, you gotta lock the wrist. So with the Eskrima stick, what we need to do is you need to practice both ways. So let's say that the 5 angles of attack form, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? I want you guys to do that in 2 different ways. So number 1 is to lock the wrist, okay? So make this, imagine that this is completely one piece, that there is no joint here, and you're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? So get your reps in that way. And then also, the second way is to make sure that you practice 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, incorporating the wrist action right there, okay? So 2 different ways of practice, very important. And like I said, when you go to a Tomahawk, going to lock that wrist, and then the next thing you're going to notice is that the motion is going to be a lot more compact, okay? Really, it's the design of this thing. It's basically a hammer, so the leverage you're getting from this is tremendous, okay? So you don't need to bring it all the way back here and swing like this. In fact, that could be very bad for you strategically, okay? So you're going to notice that the motions, when you make it more compact like this, the same angles of attack that I just did with the sticks right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, that compact, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Learn to practice with this in a compact way, and then when you start getting comfortable, more and more comfortable, you can start to make the motions bigger and bigger, okay? So then you can start going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you know? So I would say start compact and then work your way into larger and larger, all right? And one of the really fascinating videos I saw on YouTube several years back was some dude was teaching this, and he had a log hanging from a tree. I thought that was great, absolutely great. In Eskrima, what we do is we have tires that we hang. So, you know, when you actually make contact with something that's swinging, that's really, really valuable practice. And when you do that, once again, you're going to notice that when you're making these kind of smaller motions, it's a lot more controlled for you. It's a lot easier to constantly be consistent and make contact. If you're making this kind of big motion like this, the chances of you missing is larger, and then from there, going to your next movement, there's a big gap. And so what that means is you pretty much have to land this one, and it has to pretty much take out the guy. That's putting your eggs all into one basket. So, I mean, there might be an opportunity for that in combat, but it seems smarter to work your way to be safer, and then when you see the opportunity, then you can go for something like this. But you know, the idea that coming from way back here, yes, you get a lot of power, but there's a lot of distance you have to cover. By that time, the target can move, can change, and to still be able to land it, I mean, it's difficult. It really is. So once again, work small and go larger and larger, but it's really good to work with a moving target like that, and also something you can hit solid. All right. Tire, by the way, works great too. You can hit the tire with this guy, no problem. It doesn't like sever the tire like a lightsaber. That doesn't happen. Your tire will be fine. Trust me. Okay. All right. So the next thing is we talked about locking the wrist. All right. And then the next thing I have to say to you guys is you got to trust the form. Okay. So especially when you're working with a target that's moving, and in real life your opponent is going to be moving around trying to do stuff to you too. So in that case, you got to trust the form. Okay. It's so easy for the human mind to just, like, if you miss, that really throws you off. You're expecting to hit something and you miss, and you want to overcompensate for that. It's just very natural. But the important lesson here is if you miss, accept it. In fact, expect to miss. And that's why we're doing the angles of attack, which is essentially, it's a combo. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a combo and it's a continuous one. So if I miss, it's okay. I just keep going. And if I need to adjust, I will adjust by taking a step or angling or moving away. I'm going to adjust, but I don't deviate from the form. You don't see me doing this. You don't see me doing this. You know, I'm staying with the form. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can adjust however I need to. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So trust the form. Believe me, if you stand in front of a moving target, so in my case, a tire that's hanging from a chain, and I move that back and forth, and let's say I blindfold myself, okay? So I can't see, and I go like this, and I'm doing the form, and if I'll miss a couple of those, but that's okay. If I keep going, I promise you, you will make contact eventually. But just trust the form and keep going, okay? So if you miss and you go, oh no, I'm missing, I gotta make my motions bigger, and you do one of these, okay, and you know, it catches it in a wrong angle, look, I mean, you're gonna disarm yourself. You're gonna put a lot of strain on your wrist. So, you know, that's one of the reasons to, you know, be careful with this, all right? So last thing I just want to say is that the Tomahawk is, I feel like you could use it for gardening, and I think it's really good for home defense. So, you know, why not? And I really like the shape too. Once again, the leverage that it makes, like a hammer. It just feels really great in the hand. So big thanks to Great Bear from Tetsuto Bujutsu for sending me this back in the day, and I really appreciate it. I've been training with it, you know, ever since, and it's one of the weapons I've added to my arsenal. So thank you very much, Great Bear. And anyway, thank you all for watching, and take care, folks.